things are getting worse by the minute around here as I am trying to figure out what we can do, where we're going, how we're doing it. Stugotz is on trying to get tickets. Mike Ryan got tickets, but it may not be Messi's first game. It may be Messi's first game. Now Stu's trying to game the system. He's going to buy tickets to every game. And I have a mean over my right shoulder telling me, Jeffrey Loria writes books.
Got a bunch of books.
And then tell me the ranking. Everybody, the obsession with ranking. I don't know the ranking of his book. Why would I know that?
But this is ranking according to sales. I like to rank stuff just because I like to rank stuff. This is according to sales, right? I mean,
Yes, this
Right.
is according to Amazon sales, to be clear. He might have sold a whole lot more in regular bookstores.
Probably
Barnes
not,
and Nobles
though.
and Borders. Does
There's
Borders
no
still
S.
exist? There's no Barnes
I
and Noble?
believe it's just Barnes and Noble.
What if he was saying multiple? Barnes and
Multiple?
Noble?
Yeah.
Barnes
Yeah.
and Nobles is?
Yeah.
It may be Barnes and Nobles.
And
Do you want to go to Barnes and Noble?
Border? Is
Barnes
it
and
Border
Nobles?
or Borders?
I don't know. I'm confused.
Can we go to WebMD? How do I find out what the name of that bookstore is?
I like
Borders.
WebMD.
Is it? I go to that for everything.
I like it. That's your search
Borders.
engine, WebMD.
That is my W. It's WebMD.
God.
Oh, the tickets available.
Is it to the Messi game?
Yeah.
If you can buy them right now, we'll keep going. We're going to try to
Please
do
buy-
work here.
Yeah, you're going to be just like that guy that held up a sign. It went viral and was so stupid. I traveled 1,200 miles to see the GOAT, and it was to last week's game.
Wait,
Wasn't
do-
that plausible that he would
You
be
know
playing
why they're
against
doing that?
Philadelphia?
Because of that stupid kid. That remember that, Billy? You're with me. Remember the kid who came to the game like, "Oh, please, I came here all the way from Europe or whatever he came from," and everyone said, "Oh, it's so cool." And then he just did this grift where he would go to games in different cities and hold up the same sign.
You know what I think that they did now for talking this out, and I could be wrong, and I'm probably wrong. But
That's a great lead.
No.
Let's keep going with that. Now,
I wouldn't
please.
be surprised if this, because we saw that this family did this multiple times, and every time they got something out of it. If the team is like, we have tickets to this game, let's see the starting lineup and let's see who is a DNP coach's decision before the game, and then say, I came all the way from Argentina to see Tyler Hero play today, and he's not playing. And then the
Argentina.
team feels bad and like, oh, come back tomorrow. Here's a free jersey. Here's a tour of the locker room.
And
Here's
two
this.
great
Here's
seats.
that.
So they're doing it just for the freebies.
Yeah, the
Of
grifters.
course.
Didn't that happen
they're
with
from
us?
Argentina.
Didn't that happen when Luka Doncic played Goran Dragic and Luka didn't end up playing in the game, and all these Slovenians traveled to
Yeah.
what was then the American Airlines Arena?
Yeah, poor people.
Is that even a top 10 hack to go to a game and claim that you wanted to see somebody? I did a hack on the way down here that was a 2,500-mile hack. For those of you who are frequent flyers,
There you
it's
go.
all about miles.
Talk to me.
Everything's miles.
Yes.
So I board the plane in my 10-hour trek to be here on time for Monday's show. It took 10 hours.
Unnecessary shot.
Made the plane, sit in my seat, and I have an issue with dogs. Hard stop. Dogs should be in a crate or dogs should be under the plane. On comes the plane, a dog my size.
Yep.
And all
Did it
I'm
have a
saying
Teacup
is,
Maltese.
Did it have a tactical? Oh, good one. Did it have a tactical
Careful, Mike.
vest on?
That hurt.
just so you know, it didn't hurt me because I don't know what that is. So
It's got teacup
It's
in
a
it.
tiny dog.
Oh,
It's like a dog you keep in
you
your
made a
purse.
short
I mean,
joke about a dog.
It's like the
No,
dog
you
that gets.
walked right into a short joke.
No,
about
I
a
Really,
know.
dog.
David, we were all about to make it. I mean,
It's like
You-
the
even
dog that
you?
gets punted in anger.
well, through
man.
Billy. I mean,
Billy is your short joke proxy?
no, Billy was listening.
Welcome.
I was buying tickets.
I can't even. We've lost. We've actually lost the entire
What is the
segment
name
now.
of this team? I mean, Mike,
Stop buying Inter Miami tickets.
wait, you
Inter
guys.
Fort Lauderdale.
You guys, oh, okay, good. You guys continue with your conversation, but Mike, is it like have they declared the 21st to be his first game, or do they not know?
If you're in the know and you follow Inter Miami, you know this, that Jorge Mas spoke to Michelle Kaufman.
The owner of the team.
But it hasn't been
announced.
aggregated. But it's not
owners
common
never lie.
knowledge.
I mean-
it's
What happens if it
Can I
falls
get
on
these right now?
Barbenheimer Day?
Barbenheimer.
Which one are you going to choose?
Well, oh no. It is Barbenheimer Day.
Oh my God!
He's wearing a Barbenheimer shirt.
Oh, no.
No, but my Barbenheimer experience is going to be July 23rd.
What
We're
I'm
not
hearing
going
is
on
that
opening day?
IMAX.
What?
I'm hearing
I need
that you
to
may
go
have
with
4
it.
for sale. Is that what I'm hearing?
No, Barbenheimer is an all day experience, and that's gonna be how I spend my 12th wedding anniversary.
Huh.
Nice.
Barbenheimer.
At an Inter Miami game?
No, at Barbenheimer.
At Barbenheimer. Keep up, David.
I'm still focused on the fact that Stu and I are going to get 4 tickets to the Inter
No,
Fort
I'm
Lauderdale
going.
game.
I'm
exciting,
going to
right?
Inter Miami.
We're going to go to a game
What
together.
are we going to sell them for?
Oh, we're totally selling
I'm
them in
going
the
to.
parking
I'm
lot.
going to Inter Miami.
I'll
gotta-
take your Barbenheimer ticket.
I got to give them all this information to buy tickets. I can't just go in there and pick 2 and buy
The
them.
entire show is now buying tickets
Well,
to
I
a
mean-
game that
Well,
may or may
Not
not
the
have
entire
Messi.
show.
No, what I'm
Neither.
doing is I'm buying tickets for not only the 21st, but all the games around it.
Jess, do you and Lee want to come?
If
Barbenheimer Day.
you better not give Jessica your Inter Miami tickets. That would violate every provision that you hold dear to your heart.
She played for Chicago Fire.
Uh-huh.
Do you have a passion for Inter Miami?
With Messi here, yeah, I'll jump on the bandwagon
Front
if
runner.
it means there's a parade
She was an
coming to
academy
town.
player.
Did you really play for Chicago Fire?
The academy team, yeah. I mean, I wasn't on an MLS team.
What do you mean?
I was-
She was in the Chicago Fire Academy.
Do you have to try out to
girl.
be in the academy?
So you mean-
Or just
Of
get
course,
to it?
yeah.
Do it in the MLS.
Exactly. Thank you.
I'm not.
I mean, there is a women's league called the NWSL.
Do it in the
I
NWSL.
was only saying what a meme was afraid to say. I didn't want to say it.
I wasn't afraid
It's
to.
what
I was,
Because
Mike
you
Schur
definitely
would have
knew
said.
that's what that league
I
was
wa-
called,
I was
too.
trying to do the. I was trying to think EPL.
Who are the Colorado Rapids?
They're a team that you could get tickets to. They'll come
The
and play.
Raps.
They have actually a very good
I
player.
just spent $3,000 on Rapid tickets.
What's our zip code here?
The level of disrespect right now being shown toward our audience is at an all-time high, which for us is quite something.
What the hell is a
Actually.
sounder? I mean, Jesus, it's confusing.
That's actually- that's
when
a
does
team
the
that-
man play and who does he play for?
Well, Paul Allen's trying to sell them, right?
Seattle's
Posthumously.
the Sounders.
Sounder?
They sell more tickets than every team in Miami.
No way.
Yeah.
Yeah, every team,
They-
maybe
they-
combined.
They play in the Seahawks stadium and they do very well.
Really?
They do incredibly
They're
well.
a regular, full professional team. Not that Inter Fort Lauderdale
They
is not.
sell out that stadium?
Yeah.
Yes.
But the stadium's like cut in half, right, for soccer?
No.
The full stadium.
Yeah.
No, it's not the full stadium. There's
How would it
tarps
be
there.
cut in half?
There's tarps on the upper deck, and there's portions of the upper deck depending on the game that are
Not
available.
actually cut in half, David.
Like, hey,
But
we're
still,
only
their
gonna
lower
play on the
bowl-
left side.
They play the Final Four at the Superdome, and it's like half the stadium.
Yeah, but their lower bowl is still larger than most MLS stadiums.
Check their average attendance. I think the Seattle Sounders draw 45,000.
They're not.
people a game.
I'll check, but I don't believe they're as good as Atlanta United.
No, Atlanta's number one.
Atlanta
Atlanta's
United
number one.
is top 10 in the world in soccer attendance.
And
Because
Miami's expecting something close to that
No.
eventually, or no?
No,
their
because
whole
they're
stadium's
capped.
18,000.
They're going to add 3,000 seats. Presently, they're 18,000.
Okay.
So they're never going to be in that discussion,
Right.
unless David, are you okay?
No, he's sick and he came to work.
I'm totally fine.
Do you need a cough drop?
I have some, but
We seem to be coughing in my direction, too.
I know, but if you eat too many, it's a one-way ticket to Tummy Ache City.
Tummy Ache City.
I match them with Gaviscon. I go 1 for 1. Oh wow! I go one
What
cough
is
drop.
Gaviscon?
Gaviscon is like Pepto-Bismol.
Is that the generic?
No, it's a chewable. If
So is Pepto.
I view Pepto as a liquid.
They make
Yeah,
them
but they have
chewy.
chewable.
I did not know that.
You know,
Yeah.
you can light Pepto on fire,
Huh?
and it turns like
why did I do this?
metallic.
Really? Ooh.
Is that what it does in your tummy?
Yeah,
Science
Google
experiment.
lighting Pepto on fire. Turns
I mean,
into like
finish
a,
the
All that
segment
comes
first.
on my
and then
computer,
Yeah,
I
we're doing a
actually
break.
have parental controls on my Google. It just goes to WebMD.
Yeah, you can light it on fire and it turns into like this black ball of metal.
That's like Junior Mints and
like
Coca-Cola.
iron.
Is it one of those hacks
Kinda.
that nobody really
Thought it was
knows, like when
Mentos.
Messi's going to play?
I know Stugotz
Yeah.
asked this question, but what is Cruz Azul?
This is unreal.
Who set parental controls on your computer? You're a
I
50-year-old.
do. I do.
Why was Amin throwing shade at me being a youth soccer player?
He was
No.
implying that your parents paid for
No,
you to
because-
be in that academy. if we're gonna be direct with what he was doing.
To be fair, when you said Chicago Fire, I thought you were a professional soccer player.
No, never.
No, but when you said that, and it's possible that's what he thought.
That's what I thought too. I got really excited for a second, like, wow, this
Well-
whole side of your life that I didn't know.
Yeah, I mean,
And then I realized it was
you
just.
you try out and then
A summer camp.
know they say like, hey, your child made the
Summer
team.
camp, that's not right.
Do you have 20 grand? And then you say yes, and then you're like, if you give 25, she'll start. And that was my soccer.
That's
career.
actually how all soccer works in this country. It's why we're not great in
It
part.
actually is.
Yeah, pay to play.
It wasn't quite my experience, but
No,
and it means mine.
Did you make it a Chicago Fire themed summer camp?
Yeah, you have to do drills. You slide down the pole. You have to
Like I went to the Carolina basketball camp.
like Taylor.
One of the
Put out an actual fire.
one of the conditions of my childhood is I spent a lot of time in Milwaukee, and I was sent to the Milwaukee Bucks basketball camp.
Right.
And
What year was this?
the Lucius Allen came, Bobby Dandridge came.
Oh, nice.
I'll keep going. I'll go through the whole Brian
Moncrief?
Winters. Sidney Moncrief, I loved. Oh God, from Arkansas.
Was there a tryout for that? Or?
So I was the shortest kid in the Milwaukee Bucks basketball camp, and I was like the mascot. I was good at dribbling and good at free throws and good at shooting, but I was very, very small, and they were very, very big. And I only got accepted because I was forced to go to a camp as part of a deal with divorce, etc. So I went to Nick Bollettieri Tennis Academy.
Oh, wow.
I went to Milwaukee Bucks basketball camp, and here I am, all 5'0" of me going to these sports camps, and I'm picturing Jessica like at Chicago Fire's scene, which happened to me all the time. These real players, you were a real player,
Yeah, you have to wear the helmets and everything.
seeing someone come into a camp who looks like they don't belong. Hell, there's no helmets in soccer.
Do you guys think it's weird there's a MLS team named after a humongously devastating natural disaster? Like, it'd be like if Inter
The San
Miami was
Jose
called
earthquakes.
the Hurricane Andrews.
Well, there's Miami Hurricanes.
Right.
Well, it's
many,
named after
many
a
lives.
specific
But in Chicago, they view the
disaster.
Chicago Fire as a point
Yeah, the
of
Chicago
rebirth.
Fire.
I learned that from Vince
A lot of
Vaughn
people died.
in
Hey,
the breakup.
it was great for the city. Well, there's no doubt about it. Turned into the architectural capital of this country. Became the city that it is
Yes.
today. But a lot of people died during the
Buildings
Great
burned,
Chicago
yeah.
Fire.
She watched the breakup also.
Mike, should I be buying road tickets? Like, will there be demand for
that's
Messi on the
They're
road?
already sold
Those
out.
are all sold out.
You
What's
can't-
Arsenal?
It's actually named after the NBC show.
You're gonna have to get on a plane like over this pond to see that.
Who's Chelsea?
That's a great song by Elvis Costello.
Chelsea Clinton?
And why does she cost so much?
Chelsea Grammer?
You have zero chance of making that work, Stu. Zero.
That is currently happening in Chicago, also because of wildfires.
In Canada again? Mm-hmm. Bastards.
And it's interesting because I grew up just outside of Chicago, and Chicago has always had a little bit of an inferiority complex
I
to
noticed.
New York City, Chicago. And
Like Boston.
now Chicago is having their own wildfire scandal, and not a tweet, not a single tweet, not a whine,
Coastal elites, Jess.
because New York did it first.
Well, once it happens to New York, I mean,
It's the second city, yeah. They even get the secondhand smoke from Canada.
Yeah,
I bet you guys didn't even know that. I
That
bet you didn't
Chicago's
even know
going
Chicago
through
had
that?
a terrible air quality index this weekend.
No, we didn't care.
I only
Nobody
knew
cares.
it because I looked up why aren't planes taking off from New York, so I'm proving your point.
See, there you go.
Wouldn't it clear up there quicker?
Why would you say
Windy
that?
City.
Windy City.
It's actually not called the
Ryan
Windy
Windhurst.
City because of the wind. It's called the Windy City because of all of the windbag politicians that emanated from Chicago.
For real?
Yes,
This is true?
It is
Yeah.
true.
Wow.
I recently took a Wendella architectural tour on the Chicago River, as any good Chicago tourist does. And they tell you that fact. It was actually originated around the time of the 1891, I believe, World's Fair. And Chicago petitioned very hard to get the World's Fair and talked themselves up very much and became known as the Windy City.
Wow. 100+ years later, nothing has changed.
I thought you were going to say because Brian Windhorst is from Chicago.
Windy.
But I don't even know if that's...
Windy.
I don't think he is.
That's Windy
I don't
City.
think he is.
He's from Akron, yeah.
Wow, you guys really all jumped. Like, everyone knew that?
Yeah, it's a known thing.
Famously.
He's from Akron.
Akron
Famously
Beacon
from
Journal.
Akron.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's how we
Another
gotta start.
overlooked city in an overlooked state.
Akron?
There's not enough respect for the
Hold on.
Midwest.
Akron is not a city. I've been there. It's not a city.
I believe it counts as a city.
No.
They have a MAC football team.
Doesn't
What's it,
matter.
town?
City.
It's a town. It's a township.
A township.
Yeah, a hamlet.
Well, what are you doing there?
Commonwealth.
I'm saying it's not. We have to draw a line. These places that think they're cities, you're not cities.
It's a city.
You're
I
not a
Googled
city.
it.
You're not a city.
It is a city.
Google doesn't know what it's talking about.
We have to draw that line?
We got to draw that line.
Why do we have to do that?
Because nobody else is, Billy.
Why is it a necessary line to be drawn?
Because some of these little towns are passing themselves off as cities. And
You
I'm
would
sick of
consider
it.
Chicago a little town.
No, it's a city. I know because the airport
that's
is
nice
6
of you.
million miles away from the actual city.
Oh, once you land at O'Hare, you're halfway there.
Oh my God! And I got to see all those billboards of Brian Urlacher
Oh my God!
with hair.
the
Right when
Urlacher
you get off the
billboard.
hot.
That's
Oh,
how you
so
know.
many billboards.
That's how you know you're in Chicago. There's like 6 in a row of him with
Yep.
hair, and he's like, "Are you sick of seeing me yet? Buy this hair product."
But-
like they've become self-aware.
But here's the
almost.
funny thing: like, how much money does this company have? Because I remember going to Chicago in like 2018, and then going to Chicago again last year.
Yeah, it's still
and
there.
they're still
Yeah.
there.
It's
They're
all
more.
on 294 too,
They're
which is
multiplying.
now under construction. So you just sit there in a standstill, staring at Brian Urlacher now for like an hour.
With this smug look on his face.
Yep.
Like, yeah. And which is funny because he's a guy that like has his whole persona, like him being bald, no one looked at him as a guy who didn't have hair. He's just a bald guy. It's like Charles Barkley and Shaq. Like you just Jordan, you're identified as a bald guy. It wasn't like he had a great head of
That's a
hair
good
and then he
point.
lost
I think of him more as a bald guy now that he has hair, because I'm like, that doesn't look right.
I think of
Yeah.
him more as an insurrectionist.
it. Is he?
I think he
Isn't he?
has. I think he
Welcome
has
to Cinephobe.
politics that
Who was that?
would not align with this show's. Yeah.
Wait, was he at January 6th?
I don't think he was.
No, he wasn't there.
Oh, come on, man.
Well,
But
Chicago's
he's
having-
very. I mean, it's where he
Well,
stands on
hold
all
on.
that. If you
You
follow him on
mean-
social media, I believe his brother got pardoned by President Trump.
Retired white
What?
NFL player might have right-leaning political
Retired athlete,
What?
retired white athlete.
Hold on. Wait a second.
Brian Urlacher aside, Chicago's really having a moment right now with season 2 of The Bear coming out.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone wants to talk about Italian beef and Chicago dogs and the smoke from the wildfires in the city. And I'm really proud of the city I grew
And the
up
Chicago Fire
adjacent to.
Academy.
Yeah, oh,
Exactly.
that's right.
Yeah, I heard it. People talking about it at the water cooler.
And the TV show Chicago
Little
Fire.
chit chat.
Jess, there's even a Chicago style hot dog beef place that opened up down the street from me in Brooklyn.
Oh my God.
But you'd need your passport to come there from
Yeah,
Manhattan.
I don't go.
Decent, really good. Bobby's Beef. Shout out Bobby's Beef.
We talked about this.
What an odd shout-out.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No, look, you know what?
my brain is soup right now. I don't know what's going on.
While we're at it, shout out to the 5 guys at Bayside over here, man. Those guys took care of me yesterday.
What phrasing?
5 guys, huh?
Charlotte,
Reminds me of college.
I hate that I'm laughing at this. Oh my god.
Charlotte, you and I were talking about this earlier this morning about that television program,
Yes.
The Bear,
Yes.
and how it dropped all episodes all at
Yeah.
once, and you finally seen the light.
Yeah,
Binging is not the way.
look. I used to get really annoyed when we would drop every Sunday. Here's a new episode. Blah blah blah. I wanted to binge it. Give it to me all at once, which I do still think is a move for Love Is Blind and Selling Sunset. But when it comes to The Bear, I got through. I think I've gotten through like 4 or 5 episodes, and I saw a picture on social media that like ruined. I put it together. I was like, oh my God, that's what that means. And I'm like, if you had just dropped it week by week, there's a grace period where people, I think, know, like, don't spoil it the night of or the next day. And if you haven't caught up by a certain point, that's on you.
Well, I mean, and not only that, but we're all experiencing it at the same pace.
Yes.
So think of Succession. That last season, we're all experiencing the death of, spoiler alert, the death
Oh, here
of
we go again. This show is not the good show to be lecturing about.
us or Succession?
All of us.
Oh.
We are the worst, especially Dan, because as we know, he is a leaky faucet.
Yes.
We are the worst at not spoiling things and then saying spoiler alert after they've been spoiled.
That's
But anyways,
That's true.
the death of a major character on Succession. There you go. See, I cleaned it up.
Jerry.
Like, we all experience that in real time together within, 48 hours or so, depending on when you watch the episode. And so there's something communal about that makes you feel good. And also doesn't, like, I'm going to tell you right now, whenever there's these shows that come out all at once, everyone goes, did you watch? Like, it makes me not want to watch it for months. Because I'm like, I don't want to get into this rat race of trying to binge 12 hours of content just so I can catch up to what you guys are talking about, which will be talked about for a day. Like when you talk about The Bear, which I haven't seen season 2 yet, but it's like, how can you have a conversation about it when there's so many things that happen throughout a season and there are people who watch the whole thing?
Yeah, I also think The Bear had enough traction after season 1. I get it if you're taking a chance on a newer show, but when enough people are that invested, like, space it out. Let it become more of a cultural phenomenon, if you will. But I feel like Stu likes binge-watching things.
Well, no, I hate binge-watching. It was a better time. I loved when we all watched TV together. And then we spent a week talking about what it is we watched. I'm thinking about Dynasty. And we would sit around. We would talk about Blake Carrington. We would talk about what's going to happen, what we think is going to happen in the next episode.
Who shot JR?
Then we would that was Dallas. Then we would all watch that episode together. I mean, it was a better time. It's a better way to consume television.
You know what this is? This is the death of the monoculture, my friends.
Thanks, Schur.
If you say so.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah.
Isn't
I feel
that
like
a
that happened a
Pokemon?
while ago.
Yeah.
Monoculture, isn't that a Pokemon?
Yeah.
But doesn't it take the fun away of discussing these shows with your friends when you have to stop and say, where are you at in this series?
Yeah, man. It
fun
sucks.
is that?
It sucks. It's like this isn't for people. This is for people who don't have friends. People who like live in a hole and like, oh, I just want to watch my Netflix. Oh.
It also means you have to know what episode you're on. So that someone's like, what episode are you on? And if I'm like episode 5, they're like, well, I don't even know what episode the thing I want to talk to you about happened, so I can't even try,
Is so-and-so dead or not?
Yeah,
Like,
we don't know.
Yeah, and I'm like, and once I ask it, we're like, so-and-so dies? I'm like, oh, well, see? No.
Yeah. I finally got to the final episode of Succession. I'm planning on watching that tonight.
How crazy
And I'm
is that?
increasingly getting mad at Dan because I was worried that he was going to spoil it. And he said something blank by blank like a couple of days after the finale happened. I'm like, if this ends up being the big twist at the end, I'm going to be really mad. And sure enough, it's altered my entire viewing experience now that I'm anticipating it. Although it's become pretty clear in the final episodes leading up to the finale that that's a road that we're down. It lost a lot of its luster for me.
If you're not watching it live, wait like a year or 10. And then you'll just forget everything that everybody talked about. It's not going to be in your head.
That's how I am with the binge shows. There's a show on Amazon right now called I'm a Virgo. I was so excited to watch it. I watched the trailer. This is awesome. I clicked on Amazon. I saw all episodes available. I said, never mind.
What?
Never mind. I'm
You
not going to
straight
watch
up
it.
won't watch it while the episodes are
I don't
on.
have time to sit
You
there.
have the same amount of time. Just wait a week in between viewings. Why don't you
No.
just set an alarm on
Because
your phone?
people
Hey, I
are
have to sit
talking.
down and watch.
People are talking, so I need these conversations to be erased from my mind for me to forget everything and then go back and watch it.
I do love when people are watching things from like 20 years ago now, and they're like, you're like, oh, like you're gonna love such and such show. Like my two of my friends are watching The Sopranos from the beginning. Out of nowhere, they text me the other night, Janice shot Richie, and I was like, wow, what a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it happened 15 years ago, so
I have
it's
to
not
wait
a
another 10.
spoiler. But now you have to wait 10 more.
But I love it. I love reliving those moments through the eyes of
Live vicariously through other people's binge watching.
through the virgin eyes of a binge watcher. Like, so wait a second. This guy, Tony Soprano, is also
therapy?
in therapy? Like, what?
Ducks?
A cow who refuses to move?
To see how they're experiencing the show that you
Yeah,
love.
like
right?
it's crazy. I have a friend who was watching Oz, and I was like, well, wait till what happens when you see what happens to Schillinger. Oh, this guy. He really changes.
I'm getting to that one.
Oz?
Yeah, it's on the slate for.
Let me tell you.
I'm getting to Peyton's places.
Brace.
Mike, have you watched the new season of And Just Like That yet?
I was upset that my wife saw the first episode.
Ah.
I did file a petition, though, for something called Justice for Steve.
And just like
They've
that?
just done Steve so wrong.
They really have.
Like, Steve's just going blind and deaf, and now his wife's leaving him.
That's
It's
the
just
Sex and
like.
the City show?
Yeah. It's the sequel. I can't wait to watch it.
Not watching that.
Spoiler alert, she doesn't have
Americas.
very many good relationships.
They're all awful people. They always have been. I watched a lot of the old. I did some rewatch with my wife when she was doing the rewatch. They're all awful people.
But Dan, Kim Cattrall
Is back. Wow. I'm Samantha.
Is she still horny?
Is there any other kind?
She's always already. Mike Schur is back after fireworks yesterday with David Samson. David thanked him for coming back. What did you think Mike Schur was not coming back for a segment today with you?
I was not aware that he was willing to give his time every day. It's quite generous.
It is very generous. He has a stat of the day, and I am told, Mike Schur, and this is surprising to me, I am told that you are going to issue some sort of on-air apology to one David Samson. Is that correct?
I am, yes. I have a statement I'd like to read if it's okay with everybody. Upon reflection, I just have some things I want to say to David and to the rest of you.
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah, that is more than okay. Please.
Okay, here we go. Over the past couple days, David Samson and I have had a spirited debate over the finances of pro sports franchise owners. We are two passionate people who deeply believe in the truth of our causes. I believe, based on my reading of dozens of well-researched articles, that the billionaire owners of pro sports franchises manipulate accounting rules and tax laws in order to mislead the public about their finances and enrich themselves. David believes that my opinions are not valid because I have a nice house. After a good deal of reflection, I have realized that David is correct. The owners of pro franchises are kind, empathetic people who take on enormous financial burdens simply in order to serve the public in the city they represent. There is no other possible reason they want to own sports franchises. Why would you? You lose money every year. Imagine buying into a pro sports franchise knowing full well that you are going to lose money every year with nothing to keep you going except the 100% certainty of someday selling it and making several $billion in pure profit, and the knowledge that you can blackmail the taxpayers into paying for your new stadium by threatening to move the team to another city. These men are saints. It's incredible, really, that they would all willingly enter into an ownership agreement knowing full well that they are financially doomed. My heart aches for these lion-hearted champions of the common citizen who sacrifice their personal fortunes solely to bring us, the fans, a little bit of joy. I just imagine Mickey Arison lying in bed, quivering in fear, thinking of all that red ink in his ledger, wondering how he is going to make ends meet with nothing but a money-losing franchise and also several billions of other dollars, and also the franchise is worth $4 billion more than he paid for it. So here's to you, Donald Sterling. I salute you, Daniel Snyder and Robert Sarver, Woody Johnson, Robert Kraft, James Dolan, Jerry Jones, Steve Ballmer, and Mickey Arison. You all lose money every year, and I am sorry for that. I feel terrible about the money you lose every year. I wish there was something I could do to stop you from losing money every year, but as David has pointed out, that's just the life of a pro sports franchise owner. You're just going to lose money every year. So I would like to apologize to David for how I behaved. Thanks to his totally on the level and not at all full of ad hominem arguments, I have now seen the light and understand the billionaire owners of sports franchises to be poor, selfless street urchins who bear the incredible burden of owning an asset that relentlessly appreciates in value and which is guaranteed monopolistic success due to the federal antitrust exemptions they have been granted. The owners are the true heroes, not unlike our teachers and first responders. In fact, yes, I'll say it, pro sports owners are better and more noble than first responders. Do first responders lose money every year? I don't think so. Those fat cats are rolling in it. I'd like to apologize to Mike Ryan and Jeremy Taché for the mean things I said about the Heat collapsing in the finals. I now, of course, realize they must have been distraught because they knew how much money Mickey Arison was losing over the course of the season. Who could possibly play basketball effectively when you know for a fact that your beloved owner is losing money on the team? I'm also announcing that beginning immediately, I'm crossing the WGA picket lines and beginning to scab. Because it occurred to me that if David says the teams lose money every year, which I now truly believe, then maybe Comcast and Disney and Warner Brothers and Amazon and Apple are also losing money, as they claim, making television shows. This hardly seems fair, so I'm going back to work immediately to try to stop Jeff Bezos from losing more money. And lastly, I apologize to Mickey Arison himself. As David has pointed out a number of times in a weird attempt to undermine my argument by insinuating that I'm some kind of hypocrite, I have myself made a good deal of money in my career. If Mr. Arison needs a loan because of all the money he has lost after owning the Heat for 30 years, I am more than happy to provide one for him. It would actually help me, as I can use my fancy accountant to structure it as a depreciating investment in Carnival Cruise Lines, and then I can claim I made no money this year and won't have to pay federal or state income taxes. Obviously, I resigned from Meadowlark Media effective immediately. Cordially, Mike Schur.
Wow. Like an FDR fireside chat.
Yeah,
I'm gonna need a minute.
denied. Resignation declined.
Right.
Yeah, but
nice apology.
But we appreciate your heartfelt apology.
Yeah, it takes a big
Look,
man.
you won
to
the
apologize.
debate.
It puts the G in genuine. It brought me to tears
You won a debate, David.
right here.
Same.
That's
I
not a
feel
debate.
No,
What-
I feel so bad
Well,
for
that's
Mickey.
a end result.
There's no debate when he
I do
comes on.
too.
I was told that he was coming on to do an apology. That's not an apology. That is him making
He
it
said
worse.
sorry
He
several
did
times.
say,
Yes.
I
But I said I'm sorry like
apologize.
5 times.
It's hard to say I'm sorry and have it not be an apology, and that's just what
That
happened,
seemed- that
Peter
seemed-
I don't know
Cetera.
about that.
I
Check
don't
the
know.
tape,
Yes,
man.
Insure
Check
stands
the
for?
tape.
I can't
Sincere.
check the tape.
That's right.
Just
Thank
because
you.
you're laughing,
Sure.
he's playing to you.
I've been laughing for 3 days on this argument.
You are the sucker in this scenario.
I mean, by living in Miami-Dade County, yes,
You, by
I am a sucker in this
definitionally,
scenario.
you are a sucker in every way. I am only thankful that that apology was done in a Cubs jersey, which just simply reflects the level of loser of that apology and the ineffective nature of that apology.
But it is lovable, though.
And I do not accept it on behalf of myself.
That was
I really
personal.
don't care
Yeah.
about Mickey
That-
Harrison.
Yeah,
That was
that's
personal.
not
But
necessary.
I don't
David.
accept
I
it.
mean,
I'm not angry at all. So the misunderstanding about yesterday is I'm not upset.
You're actually laughing?
No.
You're actually laughing.
I'm
You're not angry. You're actually laughing.
I was actually laughing about something totally unrelated. I was thinking about art. But what made me smile more about yesterday and today?
Wait, which art?
Bob Ross's.
No,
Edward
Moreno.
Monk's The
Mike's
Scream.
art.
Art Shell?
And
Art
Moreno.
from Fallen.
Can I have Art Shell's phone number? Do you have that one? Art Briles?
I have Art House.
Art, do you?
I have our browse number. It's 666-6666.
Artie Bucco.
Start passing them down. So, Mike, the reaction that I got and that interested me is that your apology or your argument both are aligned in that you make things very binary, and they're really not. The owners are not binary. The owners are different. All owners are different, just like all fans are
The
different.
owners are non-binary?
I'm not making a gender joke. I'm talking about the way you're looking at how the accounting goes or how whether or not they make money or lose money goes. It's just different for every team in every situation.
Could I ask you a question?
David, I agree. Did you not hear my apology? I'm on your side now. I believe that you're correct. I
Yeah.
think the owners lose money every year. I'm totally on your side.
Yeah. Then I guess I
I'm
should
not
direct.
one of your. I'm not a fanboy.
Should I
Mike,
direct-
I'm not taking your sarcasm and saying, "Oh wow, that's genuine." I'm
Wait
not.
a second. What are you saying about us, David?
What? I'm sorry.
Yeah, like, whoa.
I'm
Do
saying
you
that-
want to have lunch with the guy or not?
No, I'd love to, of course,
I-
but having nothing to do with this show.
Given that Mike is on your side now, I'll just direct my questions to Mike. Say Jeffrey Loria took out a large loan while owning the Marlins. Would that be a high interest rate loan? Would he have to pay income tax on said loan? Would he get the benefit of a very favorable interest rate because of the asset that he has in his ownership that would certainly grant him hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars in the future when he sold it?
I would imagine that would be the case, but I would also say that what choice does he have but to take out a loan if he's losing all this money every year, right? Like the guy, he's probably staring at creditors knocking on his door. There's probably an eviction notice on his apartment building saying you have 24 hours to get out of here. He had no choice. I don't know the details of it, but I would guess that he simply had no choice, that he had lost so much money by owning the Marlins. I mean, he, like David said yesterday, he bought the Expos for $12 million. And he then watched helplessly as just the money just flew out of his account. He was probably thinking to himself, what have I gotten myself into? That's what I imagine most owners are thinking all the time. What have I done? This is insane. I just wanted to bring the fans a little bit of joy. and now I've ruined myself financially. And so he probably had no choice but to take out a loan. I hope that it was a low interest rate loan. I hope it was a 0 interest rate.
Can you imagine if someone were in the
Because
room who could answer the
how else
question?
could
That'd be weird.
Well, you're
He's
on
on
the
your
same
side,
He's on.
David, right,
He's on
same
your
side.
side. You're aligned. So
But you specifically chose
You're talking about
arguing that I
zero, right?
actually
Same
he,
side,
he argued
right.
your point. What are you going
Right.
to say that's different than what he said?
He has no idea what he's talking about.
But are you going to?
That's
All right,
He's
not
Carl,
talking
accurate.
about what
So
you're
wait,
talking
you
about.
disagree?
Can't
you
use
disagree? You disagree with that
You
point?
disagree with Mike Schur?
With your own point?
No, I disagree with
This is
how teams
weird,
get
David.
loans
This is weird. He's
and what
finally
they
on your
use as
side.
collateral.
I don't get what's going on.
He's finally
here.
on your
It's
side. He's using your
fairly
talking
clear.
points, and
I
you
don't
disagree
either.
with him.
Well, if any of the billionaires need somewhere to stay, I have a fold-out that they can use. I do feel bad for them. They seem like they're very strapped for cash.
Yeah. How many nights did he sleep on a futon?
How many nights do you sleep on a futon?
Depends if how much money I lose on the Rockies and how much my wife finds out about it.
That's what everything in your life depends on.
Dude, I've
The
been bad on Rockies
You
games.
got a lot going on the Rockies.
I went over 3 in that Angel series somehow.
David, are you accepting of the apology?
Oh, wait, I said I'm not gambling for the month. Oh, wait, back to that.
You're good. Let's get to stat of the day.
Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day. Start of the day, start of the day. It is your start of the day.
The Washington Nationals, folks, lost game 1 of their series to the Mariners the other night, which means they have not swept any of their last 90 series that they have played. They've gone 90 series without a sweep. According to OptaStats, that is the longest streak of series without a sweep in the history of Major League Baseball.
Congrats.
The old record was 89 straight without a sweep by the Philadelphia Athletics in 1914 to 1917. And you know what's fascinating? The Nationals still worth more than they were when whoever bought them bought them.
Well, I'm glad you guys worked things out. You feel better? David?
Thank you for helping me, David. I appreciate your education, and like I said, I'm now firmly on your side, and I look forward to doing more investigative work about these poor owners and their sad financial states.